Join Aiden and CPAWS NB for our virtual beaver pond tour, filmed at Mactaquac Provincial Park in celebration of Canada's Parks Day. Enjoy.
Start of the trail. So as you come down the trail, this is a great spot to observe and catch the wildlife, but we ask that when you catch wildlife you keep it to a localized area like this, so then we can keep the rest of the ponds healthy. So like we'll ask you not to catch on this side. Okay, so this here is lung lichen, and it's pretty common around the beaver pond, but it grows in areas with good air quality. So right here is a great spot to look out at the beaver lodge. Here we are on the trail again, and there's even more lung lichen. So another cool fact about lichen in general is just that it's a symbiotic relationship between two organisms. So it might just look like one thing, but it's actually two things working together. So here on the bridge is another great spot to observe wildlife and also see the traces of wildlife. So you can see where all the bulbs from the lily pads were eaten off and just the stalks are poking out now. So, coming through you can see a lot of frogs, but another cool thing about the beaver pond is you can also see the different life stages of the frogs. So if you come earlier in the year you might get to see the eggs, and still around this time there's still tadpoles, which is the first form of the frog. So it doesn't have its hind legs yet and it still has a tail. So if you just look really closely they might be laying on a log under the water or on the stalks of a lily pad. So since beavers primarily live in the water, they need to be able to see underwater, and a really cool trick that they have is that they actually have two pairs of eyelids. So one pair of their eyelids is see-through, so it's kind of like built-in goggles, and then their other pair of eyelids is just like ours, so when they need to sleep, they'll just shut those. So up in the trees, there's things that look like nests, but they're actually called witch's broom, and it's just a deformity in the tree caused by, sometimes it's a bug, sometimes it's fungus. But they called it witch's broom because they used to think it was a witch that was flying their broom and they crashed it into a tree and they left it there. Right here are some old woodpecker holes, and you can see they've actually grown over. And this tree is actually doing quite good for how many woodpecker holes it's had. But it just goes to show that a woodpecker hole in the tree doesn't actually kill the tree and they can actually still live after. And a woodpecker also doesn't go after dead or dying trees because there can be bugs and nice healthy trees too. Beavers usually use small trees to build, but they'll chew down bigger trees and just leave them there just to keep their teeth from growing too long. So when beavers chew down a tree, then they'll all pull it down into the water so they can use it. This little stump here is a good example of different sized woodpecker holes. And so different woodpeckers actually make different sized holes. So here you can see little pinpoint ones, like a sort of small one, and then a medium sized one, and then a big one. And so we have 3 main types of woodpeckers, but we actually have a lot more. So like the smallest one would be a downy woodpecker, and they're the smallest woodpecker we have. And then the medium sized one is a hairy woodpecker, and the biggest one is the big woodpecker that we have here called a pileated woodpecker, and he's the one with the red cap. Well, thanks for coming on the virtual tour, and if you enjoyed it, you can always come in person. The park is always open, and this is Mactaquac Provincial Park at the Beaver Pond.